You know what I'm saying, man? This the first show of the new year of our Lord 2026. And we're gonna change this format up a little bit this year. Well, we're gonna change it up drastically because we want to attack the tough issues. We still dealing with these real stories, these real situations outside in the real world. Um, I'm Uncle Frank, and the fellas gonna reintroduce themselves to you guys for the new year. Take off, fellas.
All right, this OG Vincent. Glad to be here. Glad to be back. Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully everybody starting off this year, on the right foot, on a good note, and just keep it pushing.
This triple OG. Happy New Year to everybody. Sending blessings to everybody in our family. Hopefully, have a good, strong year. And at the end of the day, with a new year brings new changes, which is always a good thing.
What's up, everybody? Uncle Lou in the building. Happy New Year, Unks and OGs worldwide. Let's take this thing up.
You know who it is, Mr. P. Hopefully your 2025 was a good one, but you can always make 2026 better. 2025 really turned the world on its head, and I think we're still spinning. So 2026, an opportunity for us to, put things back right, hopefully, in our personal and professional lives or whatever you got going on.
Okay, family, we got a topic that needs to be discussed. It needs to be the first thing on everybody's to-do list this year. And when I say everybody, I mean every man, woman, boy, child, girl. This is very important, and OG Vincent gonna get it started and explain to you guys where we going. So the floor is yours, sir.
All right, I'm gonna start this thing off. It's gonna be kind of I know we introduced the subject of AI a couple of episodes back and talked about what it was. Um, Today we're gonna talk a little bit about what it's doing, how it's affecting us, affecting our families, affecting the process of holding on to what you have to give your children some sort of generational wealth or just a kickstart on into their adult life. Being able to hold the assets you accumulated and pass them on from generation to generation. So just a little bit to start off. Okay, so I was looking up some information because not to go into detail about it, but like I know it's affecting my job directly, but AI and automation are changing the whole infrastructure of the workforce as far as the middle class family is concerned. When I say middle class, I'm talking about blue collar, white collar workers. So AI is destroying what I like to say is taking away or eliminate white collar jobs. Automation is taking away blue collar jobs. All right, just to give you a little bit of detail. So AI is shrinking, reshaping, and downgrading both white collar and blue collar work. The destruction usually happens three phases: take task replacement, job erosion, wage pressure. All right, so we're gonna start off talking about the white collar jobs. So white collar, these were once considered safe by relied on in knowledge analysts, office work. So say if you had somebody that's the clerks, clerical workers, data analysts, people, data entry people. Um, it's affecting those type of jobs. So AI is creating systems that does it without human interaction. It can generate this data by itself just by collecting data from all sort of different resources and spit stuff out. I give you an example. We use it generates spreadsheets. You don't have to put any information into the spreadsheet too tough anymore. Um, there's a system called Copart. Anybody can get it. It's AI generated, but it will actually take your email. Say like if you're trying to type up an email, you can use Copart, it will reformat your email, make it more direct to whatever subject you want to make it to, and make it formal. It'll do all that for you. You don't have to spell check it. You really don't have to proofread it. It does everything for you. So it's on that end, and the more you use it, it's learning from you. So pretty much it's monitoring you, learning from you. Eventually, it will replace you. So whereas you might have had 4 or 5 people doing different tasks, now you might have one person doing the job that was typically done by 4 to 5 people in that aspect. Automation is the machinery part. Now, if you notice, you're starting to see Google cars. I don't know the last time I saw a taxi cab. You saw the influx of like Uber and Lyft. Now I'm starting to see more and more of these Google cars as manless drivers going around. It's just automated. It's automation. You don't have drivers. If you go into the grocery stores, you're seeing automation in the cashiers, eliminating people. There are some stores. My sister was telling me about it because she actually walked into one. I think it was a Amazon grocery store. There's only one person that works in there. Everything else is automation. It's there's no people really doing anything. It's all automated. I read that there was a McDonald's where there was a only a worker in there to maintain the machines, but it generates all the food. You use a kiosk to create your order. These robots and machines package up, make your burger, your fries, and does all that stuff, packages it up, and it comes down a conveyor line to you. I would love to see that. I'm curious as to how they eliminate people from certain things, but it's happening. Me and Tori was having a discussion about it, and it seems like it's happening more at a booming rate. I say it's almost like you walk in and you evict one person out of a apartment complex because the building is bad versus now the whole complex gets wiped out altogether. It's growing so fast you can't hardly keep up with it. You can't adapt to it. You can't pivot in order to, stay afloat. That plays on into, so if jobs are being eliminated, I was reading where people are tapping into their say home equity to pull money out of their assets for medical reasons. If you're pulling money out of your assets for medical reasons, you're accumulating more debt. The more debt you accumulate, so by the time, say, you pass, you took out a second mortgage on your home. You leave this home to your children, but what happens to that second mortgage? They accumulate that debt as well. It's affecting us in some drastic ways. And I mean, people got to pull money from somewhere. It's not, I get it, it's not a smart move to be able to do it. But if you don't have any other resources, you got some huge medical situation that you got to take care of. And you're going to do it the quickest and best way you know how, in hopes that some kind of way you'll be able to bounce back or recoup from it. If you notice, just on construction alone, look how fast these neighborhoods are popping up. If you look around, some places you saw might have been vacant fields. Now it's an entire apartment complex. They might start off, and then a month later, you got half this complex up. People already moving in. One of the videos that Carlos is gonna show to us in a minute, it's a lady talking about the like leaving assets and what we failed to leave to our family, how stuff slips through the cracks, and those assets don't get allocated, I guess you would say, properly to the family members, so they can keep it or make money off of it or generate revenue or do something with it. And it's concerning to me because it's like, what is this world? In my mind, I'm thinking, what is the world going to look like for our grandchildren? You already have one fold problem on top of it that I would say, well, whereas they don't appreciate what the work you put in, the things you've done to accumulate what you have. You leave it to them. Sometimes I have a situation within my own family that I could speak about that where there was some property that was sold versus being, used for assets. It could have been turned into an Airbnb to create, revenue, or just rental property, or somebody, a family member having hard times. They got somewhere to stay. They're not out on the street or in a shelter or something of that nature. But because some of the younger people wanted the money out of it, it was sold, which I felt was a bad move. And I think a lot of that is going on around, and it's not conducive to the health and the well-being of the Black community. I can say I can't speak on other communities because I don't know, but I know what I see around me. And I guess I know I said a lot, but I'd like to know what you guys think about it, or are you feeling any effects from it?
Well, at the moment, I'm not, but it's funny. I was just looking at my calendar on my work email, and Tuesday we having a AI Innovision meeting / a spokesperson coming in and just giving a two hour briefing on AI and how I'm assuming our CEO is trying to utilize it in some shape, form, or fashion. I'm hearing he's trying to insert it into our HR department. So that'll be my first time really listening in and really getting some type of professional insight on AI. So it's coming. Again, it's I'm sure any CEO or COO or president, GM or whatever, if they can save dollars and it can help their bonuses, this, that, and the third, and they could cut 1 to 5 to 10 individuals, and just use AI as much as possible, I'm sure they'll do it. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming to my company as we speak.
So Louis, sounds like your company is behind because it's already in a lot of HR
HR.
offices,
Mhm.
because a lot of the people who are applying, or when you're applying, or those resumes or those applications, they're not going to an actual person. They're going through
Right.
to AI
Right.
screening. And you got to
Yeah.
figure out how to get past that before it
Mhm.
actually get to a real person, and you have an opportunity to actually
Right.
get a job.
Yeah. So our HR department, man, it's been a turnover circus, man, for the last 5 years. I mean, we probably had 3 or 4 different, at least 3 different HR directors in the last 5 years. So stability in that department has been very limited. But yeah, we behind on that end.
Yeah, and that's gonna, and again, depending on your high turnover ratio, for your employees, that's gonna impact the quality of the people you get in, and
Right.
how fast they can process the people in that you think. So yeah.
Yeah, I also was listening to them talk. So like our recruiter, she the top person and with the recruiting hiring process, and they were saying how she'll be able to use AI for callbacks. So like she may do that initial conversation with people, but that second and third callback all be done generated through AI.
Yeah. Doing all the screening.
Yeah, that's kind of part what I'm talking about. Like it'll learn from her. It is monitoring her call, how she handles and how she monitors.
Right.
It'll learn, and it can do it itself. And
right.
Eventually, she won't even be needed.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Right. Definitely. I think you talked about automation, but I don't know if you touched on actual labor mentioning. And this is really not about AI. Just we're creating the foundation about AI, but they are now where a lot of those manufacturing or those warehouse jobs is going to be completely robotic. It's going to be AI assisted. Like trust me, Amazon probably got a couple warehouses already. If not, that are AI is incorporated into it. So those warehouse jobs that people could fall back on, some of those, again, once they get these drones cleared to drop off packages and things like that, I mean, it's really and truly manpower or labor, physical labor is going to be the minority, you know, unless you're in the actual, even in some service industries, you're not going to need the physical labor anymore. So, you know, that ultimately the goal, which, you know, if you look at the big picture, the macro picture is a consolidation of wealth, because the middle class is going to shrink and the wealth it's going to be consolidated in these technology spaces. So anybody related to technology, they're going to get richer. Anybody who is uneducated or unskilled, you're going to, you know, drop drastically down the food chain.
Bluetooth mode.
Yeah. So that's what I see the impact of AI. Again, it's about consolidating the wealth to wherever those industries or those technology companies is, and like you said, shrinking that workforce in the labor and unskilled labor. Yeah, you pretty much you're gonna have to be skilled. You're gonna have to have education or something, have some type of skill, or, you know, be educated in a specific field that, you know, AI can't really necessarily touch quite yet.
Well, my opinion is about the AI. Of course, it's moving, but I'm saying it's more like society. You know, over the years, you know, we got to be have to have the ability to change. Even, you know, when I was talking to Vincent, you know, back in slavery days, you know, that we used to go out there and physically pick cotton. So we was out there physically picking cotton. So eventually, what they do, they turn around and invent the cotton gin. So of course, you didn't need the labor no more because you had the cotton gin. Over time, you know, you always gonna come up with different inventions. So my question, you know, my thing is, you know, either you're gonna have to adapt to it, learn more, because even now, like he was talking about, you know, he was talking about how writing the email. They don't even teach handwriting in school no more. So is it really helping us, or is dumbfounding us? Because if you don't have to do spell check no more, why you even learn how to spell? You learn how to write. So I mean, yes, it's concerning, but with everything in life, no matter what we do, we always got to have the ability to change. Because if you stay at one certain way, you're gonna be left behind anyway with technology. And as we moving on, you know, we see technology that's growing and growing. I mean, nowadays, you know, if you don't even have a formal education, you can't even use nobody's phone. You know, the old flip phone, you just flip it up and just dial the number. Nowadays, you know, you know, we just talk about 10 years. Nowadays, you know, you open somebody's phone up, you got to know how to, you know the passcode, where to go on the phone to even dial the numbers. They're just from a smartphone, you know. So yes, we still got grandmamas and granddaddies out there that don't even want to use a smartphone. Matter of fact, there's an elderly guy I know. He only wants a flip phone. He don't even want a smartphone. So you could say, why is he doing that? Why is he still have, he don't have the ability to change? Because nowadays, you without even having your cell phone, even to get a ticket. I went to the Falcons game. They don't even give you physically tickets no more. You literally have to download that ticket to your phone, and the other, you can just go to a game. So can you imagine somebody who's 83 years old? You trying to say, hey, I'm gonna let you go to the game, but you telling him, hey, I need to send you these tickets. He thinking you gonna mail them to him. But if he don't have that ability to go on a smartphone, he's lost. So my opinion about it, in time, yes, Vince, and I see those things are coming toward us right now, but we're gonna have to adapt. And if you can't adapt, you're gonna be left behind regardless. And that's
Yeah.
My thing is just at such alarming rate that I don't think society is going to be able to keep up. Go ahead, Frank. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, Vincent, I'm kind of like you, and the fact that as you move around, you see all these new properties um bouncing up, and you be trying to figure out how are these people gonna pay for these places, and they're like 3 and 4 times what we used to, and your pay isn't going up, and how AI is totally getting rid of jobs. Like I remember guys when we could call 411 and get some information. Like all that stuff over with now. All those jobs were lost. All these people that's in customer service, those jobs are gonna be lost. Like you're gonna kill a great deal of the workforce because this technology is moving too fast.
But
And I'm talking about the rate at which it's moving, the human can't catch up to it. Or we'll never be able to compete with it to catch up unless you're gonna get a job fixing the AI.
but that's right. But that's more on the individual standpoint. That just shows you we need to push education, teach our children to learn that, to adapt. Because yes, I hear those things are changing, but if you don't adapt, you're gonna be left behind anyway. Now,
But
go
but
ahead.
can we adapt that fast?
We can. I mean, look what they teach in school nowadays.
And
I'm just
I
saying.
get I get the education part of it, but think about what you are a resource for your kid right now going to college. You're a support system. If AI takes away your financial infrastructure that you use to support that child going to college, you're gonna have less and less children going. Can't afford it.
Well, you can't afford it though, Vin, but that goes about your life structure, which you don't set in place anyway. And I get you totally with the you losing your house and stuff. But honestly, if I take 10 people nowadays, if when you got grandmama or your kid's house, a lot of times they don't even want the house that grandmama stay in. And the only reason they want the house if they down on their luck anyway. Then they fighting out, hey, I want to move in grandmama house. But
But
other than
see,
that,
that's financial miseducation. That's part of what we're talking about. That's
Right. So that
miseducation.
so that's what we point. That's a perfect segue, Tori, for me to play this video that speaks about that and how we're not prepared or we need to be prepared for it. So let me share this real quick. And as I agree with you, Tori, we have to adapt, and the way we have to adapt is financial education, financial planning, all the things this lady is talking about. This is how we prepare for that. You guys can see the screen.
Generational liberation sounds beautiful, but this is actually one of the hardest dimensions for Black families to move through. Not because we don't love our families, but because we've been out of alignment with two major Kemetic laws for generations. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has a cause. Most of us grew up inside of effects of what our families weren't taught, didn't have access to, or didn't understand. And here's what it looks like in real life. Nothing is written down, no will, no beneficiaries updated, no instructions. So when someone passes, the whole family is left scrambling and grieving at the same time. Assets get lost. A house gets left behind, but nobody knows who's supposed to maintain it, pay taxes on it, or protect it. And just like that, the family loses a property that could have changed everything. Secrets instead of systems. Families bury financial issues. So every generation has to start from zero because no one is passing down the how. And then the responsible child becomes the emergency plan. Every time something happens, they're the one figuring it out because nothing was prepared ahead of time. These aren't random outcomes. These are the effects of an entire lineage that was never taught how to create financial cause. The law of correspondence, as within, so without. If you grew up in a household where the future was never talked about, you naturally grew into an adult who didn't know how to plan for it. So here's how it shows up. You avoid thinking about life insurance, wills, or legacy because no one modeled what preparedness looks like. Your family only talks about money when there's a crisis, and now you do the same. You want to build generational wealth, but you don't know where to begin because you've never seen a family plan, a family meeting, or a family strategy. Family only gathers for holidays and funerals, never for wealth building conversations. So the external reality, disorganization, losses, starting over, matches the internal reality, the absence of structure, clarity, and modeling. Generational liberation realigns both of these laws. You stop inheriting effects and you start creating them. You stop repeating what you saw and you start building what your lineage needs. This is where legacy becomes intentional.
Right.
And with that said, Paulos, and I understand totally, she is totally right about that. We get together for funerals, holidays, and we talk about everything but that. But that still goes, and once again, you always got that one person in the family that's more responsible, and you got all the other has-beens that's only going to leech on what they have. So, are we failing? Are we failing society? Or are we failing as a community? Are we failing it with our own family?
We are definitely failing with our own family, which affects society. Because again, if we always thought about it, if we really thought about it, all of our families has the resources to protect and for everyone in the family to prosper. If we were to pool our resources, that's in terms of property, assets, cars, everything. You just think about anything that we could use to build a business, homes, whatever it is. If we all pooled our resources as a family, we could create a family business or a family, plan that will take care of everybody in the family living and prepare for the next generation to get them in a better place going forward. We could do that. We have the assets in there. A lot of us don't have the knowledge, and a lot of us are selfish and only concerned with our only immediate family and what somebody else might bring to it. Like you said, Tori, some people we feel like they selfish or they don't deserve this and that and that. But again, that is our downfall because we are out of order. And as a family, we don't plan for that generational liberation that she was talking about, because we can do that. Because again, we could move everybody into the family homes because we have enough, and share the resources, share responsibility, enough keep of that, and use everyone's income or what people bring in to create more real estate. You know what I mean? So we could do that because we all, we got empty rooms.
But Paulos, I hear it. That sounds good all day long. But you know what the biggest thing is? What I think it's called jealousy. In our family, the Black family, for what I see, everybody's always worried about somebody doing better than they are.
But it wasn't always like that, Corey.
But you know what the problem is? You could almost say it came to where we got educated ourselves. Because when we wasn't educated and getting those opportunities, hold up. When we wasn't educated and getting those opportunities, we was closer together. Because we were forced to be together. But when we started getting educated, getting our own families, making more money, what we do?
Yeah.
We move out.
No. Don't talk. Don't wait. You're using the wrong term, Tori, because it wasn't education. It was miseducation.
Okay.
So
exactly.
Make sure you clear that up because
okay. We say miseducation,
right.
but
it was miseducation. We thought that the only way that we, as an individual, could come up was to abandon our culture and our family dynamics to fit into the system that gave us breadcrumbs. So that was miseducation. We thought that we could only pull ourselves up by our bootstrap because we thought that it was a fair game. We thought that if we put our head down and we work hard, we will reap the benefits of it. And we were miseducated to believe that, not knowing that the system was built for us to lose and to separate us from our foundation, which was the family. So, which was our individual family.
So tell me that much. So as us as Blacks, why are we that way? We're that way now. How can we fix that? Because now
we got to unlearn some things.
So how can we?
Yeah, you gotta unlearn. We gotta unlearn things. You gotta combat your own nature of selfishness, and reach out and try to do something.
Let me give you another example, Tori. All y'all, and like I said, we ain't that far removed from it. When you went out of town and you had family in that city, where do you stay? You
Well,
stayed at your family house.
to be honest with you, when
You stayed at your family house. You see what I'm saying? You didn't spend no money on no hotel. You didn't. You know your family fed you, and when they came in town, what y'all slept in the same room? Or kids slept in one room. They stayed at their family house. We kept the resources within. We didn't spend no money outside of the family. You know what I'm saying? So that way,
Carlos, but that's very rare though. It's so rare.
But it wasn't rare, Tori. That's what I'm saying. If we remember that when we were little, that's only.
Why did we change? Why did our generation change? Yeah, you talking about one generation ago?
Right. It's two. I changed with our parents because they were really more our grandparents, but it changed with our parents, and then we just took it and ran with it. So it started with our parents, their generation, and then we took it and ran with it. But you never stayed, you know. I can't tell you. You know, I was in high school the first time I ever stayed at a hotel. Every time we went out of town or went somewhere, we stayed with family.
Which we all do, but now everybody's worried about everybody. But I'm just saying, yeah, I understand this. We talk about this AI and we losing generation wealth, but I guess we need to work with our own individual family. What are we doing? Like Paulus, what are you doing with your family? Vincent, what are you doing with your family? You know, are you getting close to it? I mean, be honest with you, just keeping it real. And I can only speak for myself. I remember when my grandmama and granddad was living, it was always a big Christmas thing. Everybody came to the house. You know, it was like, we going here. But as my grandparents died, my uncles passed away, everybody started being individual. I got my family here, I got my family here.
Yeah.
And the only time we speak is when holidays come across. So
let me ask you this. In that situation, what happened to grandmama's house? In your family, in your situation, what happened to grandmama's house when she passed?
When grandmama's house, when she passed, it went to the family. In which I can honestly say, in our family, it was a little bit better to where one person wanted their house, but it was a collective bargain where they all signed it off to that one person, which was good on our part because a lot of individuals had their own house already. But when I see in other families, which we are blessed, I'm not going to say we are blessed in that standpoint, but what I've seen in other families, when you got other individuals that don't have a house or stay in an apartment, you got some people like, well, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that house. Or why is such and such getting the house? Y'all need to sell it. I want my cut out of it. Instead of not being unjealous, being saying like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I ain't gonna say no name.
See, that's the miseducation part that I was talking about. But go ahead.
But as I'm saying, I'm giving you something. I know a situation now where a family I know when the mom died. When the mom died, it was a bunch of individuals staying in the house. But now, nobody, it was other family members paying the property tax. But now, other people want to move into the house because they don't have a house. But you got one member of the family saying, I don't want the house. They need to buy me out, which is easier said than done because people say, buy me out. But if you look at it like this, first of all, if you already got the lower education staying in the house, they don't have a job because they still staying with mama. You talking about buy me out. So you trying to tell, okay, you're going to tell this person go take a loan out. I'm just saying the house is worth $100,000. So you trying to tell this person who already behind to go take a loan out for $100,000 to give to his siblings to buy them out. How often?
No, but that's what she was saying, Tori. There wasn't a plan. If there's a family plan in place before grandma died, there's no question about what's going to happen when grandma died because we didn't already talked about it. We don't already discussed it. It's already, it's a plan in place, and the plan is for the family, what's best for the family, and it's above the individual. But if you go off and do off on your own, you see what I'm saying? That's the whole point.
For example, like I don't mind putting myself out there. I'm 51 years old, and I'm just now learning the details of a trust and how it works. When that was something that should have been, I feel like now, like at least when I started to reach adulthood, somebody in my family should have been able to educate me, like, okay, or at the point when I started to purchase a house. I was 21 when I purchased. Like, so you're talking about from 21 to now, so 30 years. You understand? That's what I'm saying, the miseducation. Like, so just say, for example, if I don't use a trust on my property, and say I pass first, I leave it to my wife. She don't do a trust. She leaves it to her daughter. Her daughter marries, and say the marriage don't work, or one of my kids, or whatever, and they divorce. The court can make them split, sell the house, or do whatever. It's not protected, and it drifts out of the family. It's no different than us when they say we in our community, our money don't even circulate in our community. It's the same thing with your property. And that's what the miseducation part. We got to get better educated. But I'm just like, it's compounded now, and it's even maybe because I'm older. It seems like it's becoming more critical because of the job I'm in. I see what's going on with this AI automation society, the way it's restructuring. And like I said, I just read about how people are tapping into their equity in their home, like to pay for medical bills. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
But
The people that are
that's exactly
losing
what
jobs that they've been in.
That was the whole point, that we have to, as a collective, as a community, and other communities already do this. Asian communities, they probably already do this. Some of those Jewish communities, they already do this. Even some of those wealthy communities, they already do this, because again, it's a socioeconomic thing, because we've never had generational wealth or assets to pass down, really and truly, from my perspective, the generation between my grandmother and myself, I think they dropped the ball. For whatever reason, that's neither here or there. They dropped the ball and allowed those assets to slip through the fingers of the family. So again, especially in a place like Atlanta, where everybody, grandma, pretty much, most people, grandma had a house. So if grandma was able to have a house back from the 70s and working for, working seamstresses, made all these jobs, these labor intensive jobs, and able to get a home and, be successful. What happened between them and the next one? And again, I say it's a miseducation, and that was passed on down to us. So now we have to unlearn what we were taught, bring in create a collective mindset, and everybody should have a family compound. Everybody should have a family compound. Some land, and Frank them already have in the country, some land that cannot be sold, and anybody, whether you break it up or you have it set up where, hey, you can build a house on this land. The land goes to you free. You pay for your own house if you want to build it, but you can never sell it to anyone outside of the family. It has to be a direct descendant of this people, this, that, and that. You know what I mean? So it should always be something like that, and we can do that. We still have that, even if y'all say we buy these 4 houses on this street, because at one point in time, family did live on the street. Yeah, this is my first cousin, this is my second cousin. We have houses in the same, you know what I'm saying, in the same street,
block,
right? Same block, right around the corner from each other.
But we don't like our families like that no more.
Well, do we?
How many families now, other than the country, that that stay on the same block, on the same street?
But I don't. That's what I'm saying. That's the issue. I don't.
That's a problem.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you. But
see, this is the thing he's saying. I mean, we know all the causes of what in the status that we're in now, but yeah, it's got to be undone. It's got to be unlearned. The behavior has to be unlearned. We have to be
Frank,
deprogrammed.
Let me ask you this
question.
question. Let me ask you this question, because how y'all country folk do it? How y'all protect the land and protect like the family legacy? How y'all do that?
Well, it's kind of, in the country is totally different, because you have enough land where you could. Donald Trump said something a while ago, Paulos, and I never paid it no attention because you didn't know it existed. But my family has done it from the beginning. He said he buried his wife on this property, and that turned the property into a cemetery, and you don't pay taxes on a cemetery. And where my brother is buried at, I don't know if my family knew that then, or honestly, bro, I'm not sure. But my family members are buried on the land. So I think that helps clear up any misconception of what can happen and how it can happen. I don't know if someone taught them that. I'm not sure. But that's how it has always been. So if you have enough land and you cut off a little piece of it, and that's where everybody go to rest at in the afterlife, I guess they were country, but I guess they weren't too damn country.
Right. And so that's the knowledge that should be passed on. So you know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I didn't until I heard Donald Trump, they were complaining about Marcia Largo down there. He was gonna bury her out there. I never put that and my family together because, like you said, no one ever talks about these things. You'll get totally lost in the sauce because we in the city, we own a very small parcel, our little section, very small. So it ain't a lot of room to do a lot of things, but you got to put these things together. And when you put them together, you got to make them work because until Vincent brought that to my attention, I never thought about these things for my kids because I have a home, my mom have a home, and my grandmother is no longer here, but that home goes to my mom. And those two properties will eventually go to me. And then these 3 properties will eventually go to my kids if I follow the format and the plan that you guys are stating now that no one ever told me about. If we wasn't having this discussion right now, these 3 properties will probably end up in probate because nothing is written down and nothing is stopping. It has to be something ironclad that can't be changed that will not allow my kids to sell the properties because that's the first step of building generational wealth. And that's what John Hope Bryant said, that the fastest way to build wealth in America is through real estate. So if you have your hands on property, you got to try to encourage your loved ones not to sell it. And then they will sell it for a small amount of money that within 6 months they'll be on blew through. And now the property is gone. And now property is so dang on high. And it go back to, like Vincent said, with this AI and this automation, it's taking the jobs away. And if you ain't got a skill, and I ain't talking about you executive somewhere, that shit gonna get phased out. All the $1 million jobs that these executives got and all these board of directors that have all these big budgets, that shit gonna get phased out because you're not going to need that anymore. You're not gonna need it. And I'm gonna take it an even step further where we talk about sports all the time. You're not gonna need a cap guy to work your salary cap. AI gonna work your salary cap. You're not gonna need a general manager to try to draft players. They're gonna get a system where AI gonna know the best players to draft to fit your team. These are multi-million-dollar careers that's gonna be phased out real quick. So it don't seem like it's that big of a deal now. But guys, just imagine how fast stuff happened in our lifetimes. I just don't see how we're gonna be able to keep up with that, Paulos. I don't. Maybe somebody knows something that we don't know, but I had no idea about ChatGPT 6 months ago. No idea. I had never even heard of it. My cousin told me about it. I used it one time and I asked ChatGPT what was wrong with my car. I just typed in what the car was doing, Paulos, and it kicked me out what the problem was, how to fix it, and it told me where to go to buy the part at.
Yeah.
Do you know how many jobs that's gonna phase out?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's just that simple. You can ask this thing anything. And I'm on the bottom end of the totem pole at the stuff that I'm asking. Imagine if you asking it something specific and integral. It's gonna kick it out in seconds, not minutes. It don't take it but seconds to give you a solution. No human being is going to be able to keep up with it. No human being is gonna kill creativity from a human standpoint. Like the innovations that we created, all that finna be. Our generations ain't getting smarter. It feel like they getting slower and dumber. And what, because nobody can hardly spell. They'll take their cell phone, send somebody a text message, and it got self-correct on it. You get what I'm saying? You don't even have to know how to spell.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody write letter no more. Nobody know how to write in cursive. Nobody know how to do nothing already. So the generations are getting dumber and dumber and dumber. They got these calculators that do all the math for you. You don't have to figure nothing out no more. So the smarter AI get, I think the dumber the human race is gonna get, because we're not gonna put forth the effort to try to do nothing.
It's not a necessity to be educated anymore.
No, AI
Well,
gonna do
but you still got
everything
to
for
think. You still got to be a thinker. You got to have critical thinking, which is going to prepare those people for it. Because again, you got to know, like you said, Frank, what type of questions to ask ChatGPT, and you still got to be able to apply them. You still got to be able to apply them.
But this the thing that I learned, Carlos. When I asked ChatGPT a question, and I wasn't specific enough for ChatGPT, it asked me a question.
Yeah.
It asked me, is this what I meant? It started thinking for me.
Yep.
You
It
get
will
what I'm
lead.
saying?
Yeah,
You still have that
It'll start
ability.
leading you, and you don't even know where you're going. It'll lead you to where you're going. So I don't know how you can combat that. I don't know how you could even fight that.
You're not supposed to fight it. You're supposed to. It's a
Embrace
tool,
it.
just like any other tool. You got to make it work for you, and you got to be able to apply what it says. But again, that's why it's so critical for this generation after us to be critical thinkers. Because again, ChatGPT, we do know is not 100% correct. So it can give you some ideas of diagnosis, but it may not be. It's not right all the time.
Okay, but the people who own Google are multi-billionaires for that same reason. So ChatGPT is going to put Google out of business. There is no need for you to have a search engine to look up nothing.
Yeah, they're creating their own AI. Their ChatGPT is just one AI. Copilot, Microsoft, I don't know who owns it, but there's several AIs out there, right?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they popping up. They popping up left and right.
Everywhere. So that's gonna be the race. That's gonna be the race, Frank.
So do you understand? So do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They are popping up so many different programs that humans cannot possibly keep up. We can't keep up because those different platforms that popping up so fast every day, that's making our brain work slower. We not so if you don't have to apply yourself, you're gonna have to really be okay. Vincent has a particular skill set that's gonna be useful throughout because it's physical. If you don't have a physical skill set, you are screwed. Anything that you do that's not physical, what I mean by that, you got to use these. You got to go fix something or build something. If you're not fixing something or building something, you're going to be phased out. There is going to be no need for you.
You still, there's something that we're missing too. ChatGPT is not in the real world. So you still have to deal with people and individuals. And ChatGPT is not going to tell you how to do that.
When you say the real world, what you mean by that?
Like you said, in the real world. Like if I'm walking down the street and it's a YN coming my way, ChatGPT gonna tell me, hey, it's a YN coming down your way. You got to make a decision.
But let
Does
me,
he
but
look
let
like
me,
he's
but
threatening you? You see
okay.
what I'm saying? So
But
that's
let
what
me,
I'm saying.
let me say this to you in real time. If a YN coming your way and you feel threatened, you type in, there's a young man coming towards me and I feel threatened. What should I do? I guarantee you it's gonna kick you out several different scenarios of what they think you should do.
But by that time, Frank, that YN is on your head. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
But this the
that
thing,
YN is on your head.
Y'all
Frank.
get y'all
I
You
going
gotta live in the
y'all
real.
going left.
Hey,
We
no,
still talking about
hey,
marketable skills that's gonna bring revenue into you being able
Vincent,
to survive.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying multiple skills. That's why I said you got a particular skill set that enable you to use your hands. Everybody don't have that. I said if you're not doing something physical,
And a whole lot of
physical.
pistols.
If you're not
still
doing
need
something
thinkers, Frank.
physical,
You
you
still need
about to be
thinkers.
phased. You still about to be phased out.
You still need thinkers.
Well, let me ask you
You
a question. Let me ask you a question, Carlos, because
for
you
the people
just
who don't.
let
Mhm.
me ask you a question because you just went into the education realm of life.
Mhm.
Everybody got a laptop, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Don't some kids do in homeschool and
Some of them do, yeah.
all their assignments come through the laptop, right?
Yeah, virtually for the
So
most
so
part.
so homeschool kids really don't have a teacher.
They
They're at home with their parent, and their parent gives them the lesson that somebody sends to them, right?
But sometimes they're just not leaving them totally on their own. There is some teaching that the parent has to do, and that they meet with somebody virtually. So they're not
So
kids don't
so
come out the room where you just put something in front of them.
no,
Let you follow, right?
what I'm saying is in the next few years, they're not gonna have to physically go nowhere to get educated. Because
Possible.
I
That's a
see
possibility.
because right now, a lot of cases I can see my doctor through telemed. This motherfucker getting the same check, but I'm talking to his
Just
ass
going
on the
to his office.
screen. Yeah. But he
Mhm.
But
getting
at
the
some
same
point, you
check out
got
of
to
me
go
though.
outside, Frank. People have to go outside. You got to go outside.
Well, Paula, we talking about AI and the automation. We're not talking about going outside.
No,
If
that's
we
what I'm
go,
saying. I'm saying there's limits to it. I'm saying there's limits to it. The people, if you think
Currently now.
it's going to affect the world, yeah. But the people, the population ain't just, and they tried it with COVID. Half the population not gonna die. So there's still gonna be 11 billion people on this planet, and those 11 billion people gonna be looking out for resources, and they're gonna get them one way or the other. So they're gonna go outside and take them, or they're gonna go out and get them. Because unless everybody start farming, building their own, they gotta go outside.
and
So
Paulus, I'm fully aware of what you're saying. I'm just trying to get you to understand how in the next 5 years, this landscape is going to change drastically. Have any one of you guys?
Do you hold on? Do you understand what you're saying, Paulo? We went from talking about it about like AI how losing jobs to you talking about they're gonna have to go out and get their resources. So you talking about somebody who was a working class person. Hold on, blue collar, white collar worker, and now they gone from that to now AI. I'm in survival mode.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
But
yeah,
hold
that's
up.
going to be a major problem.
But hold up, because y'all talking about like we in the prehistoric, like you talking about a well-educated person, if they lose their job, you act like they're not gonna have no skills to get a job somewhere else.
They not.
they will. They
They not.
will. That's what I'm saying. That's
If
why I say you're
if
gonna
they're
still
not
need
if
thinkers.
they not
Some of them
using
will.
Frank,
these,
you still need thinkers.
Some of them will, but wait. You got we in our 50s.
yeah,
It ain't a whole lot of us that can transition from one thing to the next.
not at
We
this
know
age.
But
people that have
we're
that.
not talking about us. We're
Hold on.
talking about the next.
No, we talk, but I'm saying people we know. Just we can generalize it. Step outside of just us on this podcast. We know people that once they step outside of the market that they was in, what are they going to transition to? Can they do it? Can they adapt? Everybody doesn't have that mindset and the drive to adapt and reinvent themselves. not at no 50,
You
not
can,
at 40.
you can, Vince.
It can be done. Yes, it can be done. What's the percentage of people that's going to do it? Be realistic.
Okay, what are you gonna do with those people?
Wait a
still gonna
minute.
be
You got youth now. The dropout rate with the youth is so high right now. They're not going to trade school. They're not going to college.
Mm-mm.
But you expect
Military
this
neither.
40-year-old? Come on, man.
But that's what I'm saying, Vincent. What they're gonna still be here. So they
So-
still gonna be on
so-
this planet.
Yeah, in poverty. In poverty.
So
Hey, and what
Tori,
does
No
poverty
wealth.
breed?
No
What
resources.
does poverty breed?
violence
Crime.
and crime.
Desperation, crime, all that stuff. People are gonna still live. People are gonna find a way to live.
Okay, but they're gonna live off your blood. This is what they're gonna live off. They're gonna live off your pain.
But
See,
y'all,
this
y'all talking as if
We really getting off topic, because the whole point of the conversation, I thought was how to prevent a lot of that
You
to
can't
your
prevent.
family and your kids by protecting the resources that you have already. Say God forbid it happens, AI wipe out my job currently, right? I gotta figure out something else to go do. Okay, kind of technology field. I'm sure I'll probably be able to reinvent myself and adapt and move on into something else. Done it several times before. Not saying that everybody can do that or move like that, but at 50, I don't want to.
that's
So
That's
the
like
drive
I
is
said.
not there.
Like I
Hold
said,
on, let me
you got the
finish, Tori.
skill
Hold
set
on.
that you use your hands.
Yeah, so
Everybody
that's something.
don't
And
have
that's
that
something
skill
I
set.
love. Yeah, that's something else I love to do. But okay, I'm talking about the resources to give my children and my children's children a footprint where they have an advantage and they're able to pay for college or pay to get the education to jump in, because it's not going to be as I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's not going to be as accessible as we think it is
but
to
hold on.
everybody, because
I wouldn't
it's
be.
limited. Like
But
I
Vince,
said, you have 5 people. Perform a task. Technology has turned it to where one person is doing the job of what we know 5 people can do.
well, them
And we
other
complain about it at work that, hold on, man, you eliminate these people, but you're not backfilling. You're just dumping more on my plate.
Education is still the way.
It's not gonna stop.
But it's still the
I'm-
way you keep saying our kids, man. But all our kids are grown at this point. We should have been got them to that level right now, to where they are working in their own fields in that point. The education. We all got our kids' education at that particular point now. At our age, we should have.
But you can't choose for them though, Tori. They're gonna choose for themselves.
That's the same thing with me and Paulos keep trying to tell
The
y'all.
world is gonna, yeah.
It's gonna, the world
They
is gonna,
gonna adapt. The world gonna, you know what's gonna increase? The police force is gonna increase, because once all these people are out of work, they're gonna need some more policemen. They're gonna continue.
Okay, but they
all
gonna
part of the plan.
they gonna
It's all
stay.
part of the
Wait,
plan.
they gonna stay. They gonna, but you want. Wait a minute. I want my kids to have more than what I had, to go further than me and be better than what I had.
Yeah.
Struggle like I don't want my one of my sons is a cop right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the salary of a cop and what it is now,
Mhm.
I'm sure he
Mhm.
gonna want his children to have more than that. He probably ain't gonna want his, like, you want him to go further. Where's the generational wealth? Where is our jobs that we give people? We employing people, not we are employed. We dependent on somebody to employ us to survive.
But that's what I just said. I said, didn't I say if we had the resources as a family, if we pooled our resources as a family, we could build generational wealth and come up with a plan that will support everyone who's in the family currently and catapult the future generation. Because again, your son is a policeman. I don't know who the home ownership or how that go, but Vince, you got enough property where you could build tiny houses in your backyard, and that could become your family compound. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly, but my point, exactly, and that's part of the plan. But that's what I'm saying. I'm 50 now. Why I'm just now learning about this stuff, and once it starts to take effect and get in place, like to protect. But now I have to educate them. Wait, they already grown. They're grown, and in their lifestyle, when they should be being groomed I should have been grooming them.
Yeah.
Early.
But we
But you
didn't
still,
know.
but you
So
still
it's
can.
hard to do something that we don't
Exactly.
know.
But
We don't
That's
know.
my
But you
point.
still can.
That's my
That's the whole
So,
point of the
I gotta
conversation.
reprogram myself. I gotta retrain,
Yeah.
reprogram myself, re-educate, relearn. Now I got to teach them.
okay, that's where we start.
Ooh,
So you know what? This is what I challenge
how
each
much
one.
time you think you got to do that, dude? You're in your 50s. How long you think you're gonna live?
Hold on. We talking about it right now. Let's challenge ourselves now. Out of all the 5 of us, how many of us got a wheel? Do you have a wheel, Paulos?
No,
I don't.
I do not. I do
I
not.
do not. No, I do not.
Louis, do you have a wheel?
Yeah, muted.
No, you're muted. Well, okay. So number one,
Do
let's
you?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
No, I don't have one. So
Yeah,
let me-
straighten the wheel.
so what we talking about now, what we talking about is change. Let's start with us first.
Yeah.
You know, we talking about this today. Let's make it
Mhm.
put on our standpoint where
For 2026, that's the goal for 2026. Everybody we bringing in, we our collective, everyone in our collective circle. The conversation is about planning, future planning, wills, trust, planning, having conversations with your children.
That's something that's happening for me this year.
Right.
My property and assets going into a trust and a living will.
Yeah, but
It got to be before my birthday. My
even having the
birthday's in July.
conversations and incorporating the conversations that your kids or your plans that your kids have for their family and their future.
So you know
that all needs to be rolled. It needs to be written down. It needs to be documented.
Yeah.
And so that there's no surprises about what's going on, what the plan is, and why we're doing it. Why? And it makes sense. Hey, we're not doing no more Christmas presents for the kids because that's not part of the plan, the family planning. You guys can do it, but we're going to put our assets toward the family planning for the kids. And, you know, when they're old enough, they can start having those conversations. This just happened today.
Okay.
My son got 2 letters in it from Vanguard Investment.
Good.
Like, I was like, he must have opened this through his job. So I talked to him today. I was like, did you open Vanguard, this brokerage account through your job? He's like, no. He's like, no, I opened them outside because I've been researching that if I open a brokerage account, I'm 18. I just turned 18. At 18, by the time I'm a certain age, I have $1 million. I guess he's listening to some of the conversations we be having or some of the things that we're having that he's thinking right now. Now, I ain't had no brokerage account. You know, all my stuff was in, 401ks and stuff like that. Now I have IRAs. But you see what I'm saying? If I had started doing that at 18, just imagine where I could be by the time I got to 50. You see what I'm saying? So they've always had taken account, and we've had them on our credit cards since they were 13. So they're comfortable with that part of it. But the investment and brokerage part, his sister's one thinking like that. He's thinking like that. So that needs to be incorporated into all our conversations.
Okay.
And like you said, our future planning.
Okay, I get you, Paulo, and I'm with you always. So as we consider up there talking about it, and Vincent keeps saying it's too late. I'm trying to say.
When you hear me say that? When did you hear me say that?
You said, but we 51, we 52, we too late. You did say that. You said I'm at this age.
I said we're too late.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Rerun it.
I ain't nobody said nothing with too late.
But
I said, how much time you think you got?
No, that's what I'm saying now. So that's why I'm putting the challenge. So I'm just saying, I'm putting the challenge to all 5 of us. Paulos, you know more about a wheel. Since you say you got a wheel, it's put come June. We all 5 of us need to have a wheel. At least have it started.
Yeah.
So we talking about it, but none of us ain't done nothing about it. So it did say by June we all gonna have a wheel in place.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you set up a wheel?
That's where we can find out.
Now I know
that'd be part of our theory.
I can get some
Zoom
information on it because we have a through the company it has a site that we can go to and they give you an agent that helps you set up a living will.
Yeah.
So would that excuse me, would those people also help you set up a trust?
That I have to look into. I'm
Yeah, it
sure. I mean,
depends.
like my Fidelity accounts. Yeah, you can set up. You can call and they'll talk to you about setting up a trust and how to do that.
Yeah,
They have
but it
financial
goes in the
advisors to
cost.
teach you how to do that. I just
But
finding
again,
out about
Frank,
these
that
resources
again,
as we start talking about it, and I
yeah,
learn more about it. Then I start looking into it,
yeah,
and you'll be surprised, man. Like even at your job, so you'll probably be surprised some of the resources that's on the HR website that nobody ever told us because we don't ask.
But
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 but,
this
but
challenge we can find out. All I'm saying, we talking about it. Let's do it for ourselves.
yeah,
That
let's start having a conversation with our family too, because again,
You got to
Tori,
because
I
they
ain't
need to know
putting
what their role is in this
like
thing.
Tori, you're in a unique situation where y'all could probably, if you had known about this, say 10, 15 years ago, y'all could have probably bought up the whole block between you and, your family. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't know what y'all planning is or with those assets, and you being the only child, I don't know if the conversation has come up with you and your mother or, none of us has really talked about that. And my sister has a home, and she has some conversation about it. But again, we need to have a concrete plan in place for the entire family about what the future is. Because again, a lot of us, our parents, if they're still here, they're gotten older. Unfortunately, my parents don't have any assets on one side to give. My dad does have a home house, but I haven't had a real conversation with him about what his plans is, because you know what I'm saying. So it's just it's a lot of things that we are missing out on and are out of alignment with. So that video was, I thought it was a good I guess starting point for people to start having those conversations with their family.
Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna have a conversation with my mom tomorrow and get everything. I'm the beneficiary on everything that she has,
Right.
but it's not ironclad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I want it to
Yeah.
be trustworthy so
Yeah.
that it can't be debated or
hmm Yeah.
these things. And I'm more interested in the trust than I am the living will, because the
Right.
trust says that you should own nothing but control everything. That's how you avoid
Yeah.
taxes. That's how you avoid
Yeah.
getting sued, because you don't own it, you just control it. The trust
hmm
own it, and because the
Yeah.
trust is not a physical person, you can't sue that person because
Yeah.
it's not a person.
Yep.
So
And that's the guidelines you got to follow.
yeah, I want to be able to have everything set up, and I want it what is it, irrevocable, so that it
Yeah.
can't be
Irrevocable.
changed.
hmm
Like, you don't want one of your kids to think they above the rest
hmm
and go to changing things. You don't want whoever the executive of the trust to think that it's mine. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Since I'm
hmm
the executor, everything belongs to, no, everything belongs to the trust, and the trust is collectively. So I would love to sit down and talk to somebody, see how much they charge to do it. And what's so crazy is I'm saying these things, but I really don't know what I'm saying. I really don't know what I'm talking about because I have zero knowledge in it. So maybe there's someone that can tell me exactly what I want to do and how I want it specifically catered to.
Yeah, but see, now you got an idea of the questions you want to ask.
Yeah.
hmm
So you know
And
Yeah.
what you want to happen. We just don't know how to make it happen.
yeah, and
You're right.
Vincent, I know a lot of times that it seems like me and you on the same page, and Tura and Carlos might be on a different sheet of music, and Lewis just paying attention. But Tura, you said something that I 100% agree with. I really do. Nothing stops us from starting today. We already started because we're having this conversation. So we
hmm
have started, and I think the deadline should be, like you said, the June. That gives us 5 months and a couple weeks to really put our foot forward, man, and push each other. And and help each other to understand that, like Vincent said, we don't have as much time as it may seem. And if you look at each other's face on the screen, you will see everybody is aging. And
Speak for yourself. Hold on.
Hello, we can tell how much you aging by how much dye you got in your face.
Go ahead, Frank.
man, I don't even need to say the thoughts of the panel because I'm talking about the appearance on the panel. I ain't even got to talk about what we think. I'm talking about what we see.
Hey, let me go into the big box so y'all can see. Give me y'all big. Look at that gray right there. Look at that gray right there.
Hey man, I'm trying to tell
Tori,
you.
and don't. Look at that gray right there. Look at that gray right there. Come on,
man.
Frank.
And listen, I already know, man. I already know what's going on. Don't even
Louis,
show Louis because Louis look like Santa
Louis
Claus.
in the dark, and you can still see his. Don't be trying to hide it.
But seriously though, man, Tori, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm talking about a lot of times we go against what you say just for going against it, but bro, you said something then that makes a lot of sense, and I think we really need, because we talk. We see each other, we visit each other, we fellowship, and we just sat down and had a Christmas lunch together. This right here is what we should have been talking about in person.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So
this and health, those should be the biggest conversation we have. This and health, because we got to live long enough to make this stuff happen.
Yeah. You got. I'm with it.
So that is our goal for 2026.
So Tori set a goal that everybody should have a living will, or at least it be in progress by June.
Yeah.
Well, we can at least talk about it, figure out how we do it, because I know about it, but I don't. I'm like Frank. I don't really know the process we need to go about to get it done.
Just start listing your assets and getting your beneficiaries and orders and who.
Because another thing, and I know we touched on this, but the people don't know this.
True.
Are we allowed to put assets that we still paying for in the living will? Because my house is not paid for.
Yeah.
So are we allowed to put those things that are not paid for in the trust?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Because the trust can buy things for itself and pay on it. You know what I'm saying? So,
because for example,
you do that. Yeah.
Something you can do with your house, you put insurance on your house, to where if you pass, it's enough money in insurance automatically pays off your house.
Yeah, I got it.
Your house it then get paid for, and then whoever you leave it to, or it goes into the trust. Now it's all free and clear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that.
Like saying, you list your cars. You know, all things. You got season ticket, all that stuff can be listed. You know, your jewelry, all my watch collection, Frank, your headscarf, Frank, Tori, his liquor.
But now, you know what? But you know what? I got a question about that, Paulos. Like Frank was saying, if your house is not paid for, right? So we all bought our houses where, they took our credit report and, and it's based on, you can pay it. What if your kid, I'm just going to throw a number. And I know Vincent said you can have insurance. What if you don't have the insurance in place? I'm going to just ask you, just say you owe, when you go, you owe 40 grand on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Say your kid doesn't have a job, but you owe 40 grand on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Who can say do that loan automatically take your kid in and say you're going to pay it? Because number one,
it goes for the estate. It goes toward the estate. Say you it may not have that 40 grand, but say you had cars or something, or you had some other assets they could use to pay that off, or they give them time where they could assume it. They can assume the loan, because again, they can't foreclose on you if you're dead, right? So there's a process where they can assume that loan, or the remaining balance, on it, if you don't have it outlined.
But do this, do the bank, because the bank's still gonna want their money, and they
are.
Yeah, it's not a process for them to have to qualify for it. Yeah, that's what he's asking. It's not a process that they will have to qualify for it. They will automatically assume that debt, right? Now,
Well,
if they
not
default on it, they
necessarily.
default.
No, they wouldn't necessarily assume it because the estate be responsible for it. So, like, you know, your estate, if you had an insurance policy or anything like that outside of the house, say you just had a life insurance policy, or if you had money in other accounts, you know, you're assuming that, you know, if you had a house and you've been paying on it so long, you got some type of financial thing in it. You know what I mean? Whether you go in and sell all the stuff in it to pay off the remaining debt, your estate would do that. But the bank can't do anything with it because it'll be held up in probate because you don't have a will or anything like that. So the bank can't foreclose on the house that is in the probate. The judge has to make decisions on it and would work with your beneficiaries or your kids and say, hey, okay, this is what the debt is, the liabilities are, these are the assets. You know, if the assets don't cover the liability, you guys have a plan for this. And, you know, it all, that's why sometimes probate takes so long. All that worked out with
You're
probate.
speaking in terms of if it goes to probate. You're not speaking in terms of if you have a trust or a will, right?
Right, because it's already figured out.
Oh, so
Because
if
you
you
already-
have a trust, all that's already figured out.
Yeah, you're going to figure that out. You're going to figure that out because the trust is going to advise you too. Like, hey, you don't own this house outright. Hey, we should put a insurance policy on to cover, like Vince said, to cover the cost of the house, or to cover the remaining expenses in case you pass away. So that's part of the trust as well. So, you know, it's making a plan that say, hey, you know, use these assets or use my, you know, death benefits to pay off all my debt, or, you know what I'm saying? That's all a part of the process.
But hold up, Paulos, to get that, you have to get a lawyer to write that up. So
I mean, yeah.
So
Tori, you weren't here yesterday. We talked about it. Vince Googled it. He said it's what, anywhere from $1,000, $100 doing it yourself to what, $4,000 or $5,000, depending on
how complex the trust
how
is.
complex
I mean,
it
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what type of lawyer is that called?
There's
An
trust
estate
lawyers.
lawyer? Who?
Yeah, estate planning, estate lawyers, trust, you know, regular lawyers, they're different kinds. Like I said, LegalZoom, you can do some of the stuff yourself. Depending on, it just depends on the assets, and then if you got different brokerage accounts or different insurance policies, it you know, it's more intricate. If you own stock, or you know what I mean, if you got pensions and all that stuff creates more.
See, all I've done so far is like list beneficiaries on everything.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
beneficiaries on my life insurance and my house, but
right. But see,
not the
again,
other two properties.
beneficiary would be your trust, and then the trust would take that money and do what you told it to do.
Okay.
You know, it would take out you say the money goes to the trust, and then, you know, it would take out burial expenses and whatever you tell it to do. And again, when you send it up, that going through your assets and your liabilities, you know, and creating a plan to make sure, because, you know, hopefully we all die debt free, but, you know, that's the whole plan to account for those type of things.
Guys, when I tell you, this has been an amazing topic, and Paulos, you piqued something in me because I saw this and I was talking to this with my son. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I want you to do your homework, and we need to put some money together. Between the 5 of us, coming up with $1,000 shouldn't be hard. That's like $200 a piece. Guys, I don't know if you guys ever heard of BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Those 3 companies own more assets than 50% of the countries in the world. Well, shit, it might be 90% of the countries in the world. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. It made me think about that when he just said his son got paperwork from Vanguard. We need to invest and put those 3 companies in our portfolios to add to our trust. I need you guys to do your homework because we need to have an extensive conversation the next time we get together about those three companies and the way that they could help solidify our family's future. Even though the landscape of this AI automation gonna change, those three companies control that landscape. And I don't know if you guys familiar with that, but Carlos was in finance, so I'm quite sure he can sing us a song on those companies. So next week when we get together, guys, we need to have a one-on-one, heartfelt conversation about financial literacy. Let's start trying to pull our resources together as much as we can, and just see can we come up with at the end of the year, man. Maybe we can come up with a $5,000 pot to invest in something, man. Maybe we sell shit. We do like they used to do back in the day, man. Sell donuts and all kind of other crazy stuff, man, just to try to do something we never did before. So if you guys down with it, man, let's try this because we spend a lot of money, man.
We do.
I spend a lot, man. I spend a lot of money, man, and I want to make that money stand for something instead of just, just it goes up in smoke.
Yeah.
So I just want to be a part of us being together for a long time, man. Us spending money together, making money together, and investing in damn the Fortune 500 companies. We don't need to invest in the Fortune 500 companies. We need to invest in BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. Don't worry about Coca-Cola and all that stuff. Do y'all homework on them three people, and you will understand what I'm saying. Those people got trillions of dollars in assets. Trillions between them three companies. Each one of them got trillions of dollars in assets. They're never gonna lose money. Never. So, guys, I enjoyed y'all. Vincent, thank you for this topic, man. It was really needed. Tori, thank you for coming up with a plan for us to get going. Paulos, man, I lean on you a lot because you know where the money is. You did the finance. We need you more than you finna begin to know in these next 5 years because Vincent ain't lying. This landscape is finna change fast and drastically, and we not prepared for it, man. Our children not prepared for it. They not. We not. So, guys, I really enjoyed this. I can't wait to talk to you guys again. I can't wait for us to sit down and get these trusts and these wheels in order. I can't wait till we come up with an account. Paulos, you need to come up with us an account so we can start shooting $5 here, $10 here, $5 here, $10 there in that pot, man, and watch it grow and invest it. Guys, I love y'all. Mr. P, take off. Then we're gonna go to you, Vincent, and OG Tori, man. Since you kept this thing off, I want you to take us out the door. Paulos, take off.
Hold on. Let Vincent end it up because it was his topic. Let him end it off because he was
yes, sir. No problem. No problem. Take off, Mr. P.
All right, fellas. We've got more than enough. If we're really truly honest with ourselves, based on our backgrounds, and I know what all our backgrounds are, we've been blessed and highly favored in many, many ways. We've all exceeded what we thought we would be in our ancestors' dream. So we've got everything that we need today. We've got everything that we need today to put us in a position for the future. So let's not be afraid to make those changes. Not saying it's going to be easy. Not saying that it's not going to be a shift in mindset, but we've got everything we got that we need today. We just, again, we might have to sit down a little bit. We make some lifestyle choices, pull back a little bit so that we are in a better position going forward. So that's the tough conversation that we're going to have with the family But everybody else said, yo, we can't take these luxurious trips like we used to do. We have to stay in a Airbnb or stay in, you know, third class if we're gonna do it. But that's not a part of the plan. And you know, because we gotta plan it. So
I'm sorry, Paulos. Honestly, if this is something that we plan on doing, I'm not taking no vacations this year. That money
Right.
can be put somewhere else. I'm not doing no vacations this year. If you guys say this is what we gonna do, that $3 or $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 that I spent in 2025 traveling, I'm not doing that no more. Christmas, shit, man, I probably spent $7,000, $8,000.
Yeah, easy.
No lie. So
Easy.
I probably messed up $20,000 last year on luxuries. And as I look around, I don't see none of that shit. I'm sorry for cutting you guys off. I'm sorry.
No, you
Paulos.
good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But good. That's the mind shift that we need to have, Frank. That's the mind shift that we need to have and promote that to everybody. Life, we got trust, man. It may hurt a little bit in the beginning, but it'll put them in a much better position again, and they'll have to see that eventually. But we gotta present it to them. Get our stuff together and present it to them. Go ahead, Tori.
As always, like I said, we're gonna talk the talk. We're gonna get here and talk the talk. We need to walk the walk. So, like I said, we did put a challenge out to each one of us. Like Vincent put, let's get those wheels done. Let's get those trust funds done, and maybe even touch on the subject maybe another time that we don't want to talk about. You know, our afterlife. You know, for us to start preparing to go by. You know, we want to be buried. Go ahead and get our own burial spots. You know, buy our own caskets. You know, that way we won't put that burden on our kids just as well. Instead of waiting for when that time occurs, you know, because when that time occurs, you know, a lot of time we only fighting for a week for our family trying to bury us, to do all that. So maybe we need to look into that too. Maybe look into looking at the afterlife, what we want to do. You know, for everybody to have their own spiritual thing if they want to be cremated or buried. But you know, like I said, love y'all as a family. You know, like we say, family is a strong word. It's protect our family just as well.
Okay. Vincent, take out, bro.
All right, I really appreciate everybody's input on this topic in this conversation. It's well needed, well deserved, and we got to start. We got to make these changes, and change ain't comfortable. We talked about AI automation and how it's changing the world. It's not comfortable. Like I say, I can feel it. I see it affecting people around me at work, and it's very unsettling. But you have to adapt to the change. You have to change your mindset, and like we got to do the work to make sure these changes are effective and beneficial to us. And I think we're on the right track to do it, but we got to build a plan and work the plan. Don't let the plan work you. You got to just execute on the plan. Get your plan together, and then from that point, it's just execution. And like you said, Frank, it's gonna take some adaptation. You might have to cut back. I know. I love to travel. I've taken some. Last year, I spent a good little bit on cruises and oh my god. But because I love to see the world, but you might have to pull back a little bit just to get the things in place that I need to get in place to make sure it's effective and things are what they should be for my legacy. I appreciate everything, man, and y'all, you know. I mean, everybody chimed in pretty well. I respect everybody's, conversation and opinion, and it's opened my eyes to a lot. I think we're gonna learn a lot and move forward in the right direction. I really appreciate this.
Hey man, like I said, I love you guys, man, and I really want us to be successful, man. And when I tell you I ain't lying, to show y'all how serious I am about this, Paulos, if you get these accounts set up, the Vanguard, the BlackRock, and the State Street, man, I'll put the first 50 in each one of them just to get them started, because we got to take care of ourselves. And I don't give a shit about Vincent. Vincent, I love you, bro, but I don't give a fuck about you. I care more about what's gonna happen to Nisa. You understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's a rare occasion where a man outlives his spouse. That is a
Yes.
very rare occasion. So the
Yeah.
thing
If
that
you
we'll
notice
be
every
sitting,
scenario, I say I go first. You
yeah,
notice
Right.
yeah,
because I don't know what
yeah.
men outlive the women.
So it ain't for the benefit of us, it's the benefit of our families because it has to be done. Has to be. This landscape is changing and we need to get in on this Venezuela all money that finna come through here, fellas. We need to be on that thing because Donald Trump,
Hey,
Gangster
hold
Plus
on, wait. Let me put the
Gangster
banner. Let me put the
Plus is
banner. Let me put the
opening
banner up.
doors.
Let
Yeah,
me put this
buddy.
banner back up. Let me
Yeah.
put this banner back
Yeah.
up.
You finna get us canceled. You finna get us canceled. Buddy.
Let me get this
Hey
panel
man,
back
y'all
up.
see I put that smoking out on. That
Yeah.
man is opening doors for us. So
He went on that Debo. That man, them people.
hey, Tori, I ain't listen. What's the used to be in the big hall, the hall with the big nuts? If you don't let them hang, I ain't got a problem with it. Somebody else might be mad, but when you got big balls, you gotta let them guys hang, man. And if they're gonna create some opportunities for us, and we having this conversation, and I hate to say this, I hate to, God, please forgive me. In order for us to be successful, someone else has to suffer. That ain't me. Ain't that true, Paulos? It is not me.
I don't necessarily subscribe to the
That
zero
is
sum
not
game.
me.
I think
Suffering
there's more
has
than
to
enough.
happen for somebody to move. All right, Paulos, let me say this to you. Vincent, let me say this to you. Tori, let me say this to you. Y'all weren't born in y'all positions. Somebody had to get cut for you to get that position. Now let the church say amen.
Again, the thoughts of the panel are not necessarily thoughts of the and OGs worldwide.
But
And we appreciate y'all.
am I lying? If I can stand a straightening, Vincent, if I'm lying, I can stand a straightening.
Well,
I just
I'm
know
just
every
saying.
time that I have ever got promoted, somebody had to fall for me to go up. I just didn't go up. I had to stand on somebody.
They say every action has an equal and opposite
You
reaction.
better
I'm gonna
believe
leave
it.
it right there.
You better
I'm gonna
believe
leave that
it.
right there.
So, guys, I love y'all, man. We're gonna talk. And Paulo's man called me as soon as this over with so we can discuss how to get these things started.
All
I
right,
love
brother.
y'all. I'll talk to
All
y'all
right.
later.